approachable demeanor, paired with his genuine concern for the needs of the Ghanaian, has earned him their trust. A trust that is pivotal for any leader aiming to guide a nation through challenging times.
What I really like about JDM is his humility. The man is simply so down to earth, it's unbelievable. He's so humble, it's unbelievable. I really like that about him.
Your mama osro nyame, odo nyame, osro nyame, openi pasem, okita kumapa. Mihuna se me hu me nua bema. Oye obi nso a onyiyi nipam. We are akwala o, we are openi o, we are pepeni o, we are twivi o, we are bebi a tribe bia ofi bia your mama pe wase. On kase we inye twini, we inye we ni. Your mama nse nipam.
President Mahama is practical. He communicates his issues very, very well. And he understands the Ghanaian politics very well. He understands the Ghanaian people very well. And that is what I like about him.
The brand, John Dramani Mahama, is not just a name. It represents resilience, strength, progress, and empathy.
I believe John Dramani Mahama is loved by many. His personality is so unmatched, and I've heard so much about how he has helped people in their difficult times, even when he wasn't yet a president. His love for God is so admirable, and his love for kids and the youth is so much amazing. And I'm not so surprised my kids get so much excited anytime he shows up on the screen.
I admire his tolerance. In 2016, a lot of people attacked his person. No one got arrested, no one disappeared. He just allowed time to judge, and here we are. That's a good leader.
Mahama's previous tenure as president distinguished him as the infrastructure king. His visionary leadership facilitated projects that have transformed our communities. Roads, schools, and healthcare facilities were built and improved. The energy sector received a big boost with excess megawatts of power, laying the groundwork for sustainable development. But the journey is far from over. Mahama has made a solemn promise to reset Ghana's economy, enabling a collective resurgence toward building the Ghana we truly want. A Ghana of opportunity, prosperity, and accountability. Through his promise of a 24-hour economy, he envisions a nation where jobs are abundant and where people thrive. Picture this: a Ghana where industry operates around the clock, entrepreneurship flourishes, and every citizen has the chance to contribute to and benefit from economic growth. Mahama's roadmap prioritizes creating jobs and ensuring that the nation's wealth is shared across all communities. A true embodiment of economic empowerment. Mahama recognizes that Ghana's strength lies in its people's strength. By fostering an environment of innovation and collaboration, he calls upon entrepreneurs and the youth to embrace their roles as the driving force behind our nation's future. Our strength as a people lies in our diversity. Mahama is dedicated to building a government that upholds accountability and transparency, ensuring every voice is heard and every concern addressed. He invites all Ghanaians on this transformative journey, confident that together we can build a Ghana that not only meets the needs of today, but inspires future generations. As we honor John Dramani Mahama and his new dawn of leadership, we look ahead with hearts full of hope, aligning with his vision for us all. Together, let us embrace this new chapter of leadership, transformation, and growth, forging the path toward a prosperous Ghana for all. Congratulations to the 4th and now the 6th President. Mahama. The journey begins now.
Kwekufado, he had Kente on with no inner. He also showed that how muscular he was at the time in 2016. Then in 2024, we had this one as well. And that's what you're seeing right now with the President, John Dramani Mahama.
Today he's doing the one hand.
With one hand.
Yeah, he's holding the state sword. I mean,
and it's very important. And it's symbolic as well.
It's the symbol of presidential authority.
That is the symbol of authority of the President of the Republic of Ghana. Now he's held it with double hands, and also that has a meaning. If you recall, this became a talking point in 2016 when he held it with just one hand. In fact, the state sword, as we would call it, the
Omana Akumfua.
Yes, symbol of presidential authority, first held by Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah when he swore the oath of office on the 1st of July 1960. Blake, what do we know about this?
It's made of solid gold. The design is based on that of the double-bladed Afenanta, a traditional symbol of interstate peace, and that is what we saw him holding for the very first time in terms of it being sworn in again.
Nobody should expect
this Council of State to be a bunch of yes people, you know, with a herd mentality, just following along, but being serious and steady and critical, and applying utmost integrity to what we will be doing. Because if you recall, His Excellency the President, when he was making his remarks, one of the points he made is that the Council of State, as envisaged by the Constitution, is not intended to be a partisan institution. It's made up of people with experience, and it is set up to enable the President, whenever he needs advice, to be able to take advice and to trust their advice, even if it's not binding on the President. He should be made up of people whose advice he will respect and therefore take into serious consideration before finally coming to his decision. For me, one of the primary things is simply the constitutional review, the need for constitutional review. Because in that area, I have a number of views, which I think in IEA presentations I've made quite clear, and those are quite sufficient to keep us busy for a while we come up with other ideas as well. You know, there's also, and that one too, from the pronouncements of the President, things are happening now. What should be our policy on our natural wealth, our natural resources, the thing that's under our ground, which we don't feed, we don't seed it, we don't feed it, and which belongs to us totally. But when it comes to making use of it, we allow ourselves we position ourselves to be exploited. I'm using that word very advisedly, because when you read about systems and formulae used some over 10 years ago in other jurisdictions, you keep asking yourself, why are we still doing it like we are in the days of Governor Gagisberg? You wonder, and you end up with really pathetic towns where a valuable mineral has been extracted for years, for decades, sometimes more than a century. And when you think of the amount of gold or diamond or whatever has been mined all those years, and you look at what it has done to the town, you ask yourself, what went wrong somewhere? Why? And we need to, that's something that needs to be seen to. I don't think that, I'm more for reforming it, revising it, I'm not too decided on that personally, but some are of the view that the Council of State should, in fact, even be converted into a second legislative chamber, so that matters like the finances of the country, defense, those particularly key areas, they have a say in it before it is finally decided. And then Of course, one would have to also come up with a formulation which will ensure that even though they are there, they are still not there in a partisan capacity, but as because otherwise you might end up like some countries that we know who can become rubber stamps of the chief executive. I think this matter of ex gratia is one of, I believe, policy, and I have not actually delved into the rationale for the current policy. Yes, I think it might be something that simply, sometimes we just get into certain practices and we just do it. Because the Council of State also comes under the Article 71 office holders. And that I don't know how to say it. That's a group of people. It's really the outcome of it's really the recommendations which get made by the committee that the president sets up under the article. That is what has generated all of this. For example, throughout the time I was actively on the bench, the 24 years I was on the bench, no one was expecting any ex gratia, anything. All you know is that at the end of your service, there were certain recommendations that had been made.
Your Excellency, kindly say after me, this is the oath of allegiance. I, your name,
John Dramani Mahama,
do in the name of the Almighty God swear.
Do in the name of the Almighty God swear.
That I will bear true faith.
That I will bear true faith.
And allegiance.
And allegiance.
To the Republic of Ghana.
To the Republic of Ghana.
As by law established.
As by law established.
That I will uphold.
And that I will uphold.
The sovereignty.
The sovereignty.
And integrity.
And integrity.
Of Ghana.
Of Ghana.
And that I will preserve.
And that I will preserve.
Protect.
Protect.
And defend.
And defend.
The Constitution.
The Constitution.
Of the Republic of Ghana.
Of the Republic of Ghana.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Your Excellency, now the presidential oath.
I, John Dramani Mahama,
having been elected
to
the high office of President of the Republic of Ghana, do in the name of the Almighty God swear.
Do in the name of the Almighty God swear.
That I will be faithful.
That I will be faithful.
And true.
And true.
To the Republic of Ghana.
To the Republic of Ghana.
That I will at all times.
That I will at all times.
Preserve. Protect. And defend. The Constitution. Of the Republic of Ghana. And that I dedicate myself.
To
the service. And well-being.
Of
the people.
Of the
Republic of Ghana. And to do right. To all manner of persons.
I further
solemnly swear
that should I
at any time
break this oath of office,
I shall submit myself
to the laws of the Republic of Ghana
and suffer
the penalty for it.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. President. Let me be the first.
In the heart of West Africa lies the Republic of Ghana, a nation resilient in spirit, rich in culture, and steady in its pursuit of progress. Today, we celebrate a momentous occasion in our nation's history as we welcome the newly elected President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. A true nation builder committed to forging a brighter future for all Ghanaians. John Mahama embodies the pillars of leadership that our nation craves: trustworthiness, reliability, modesty, and above all, truthfulness. From the moment he stepped into the political arena, John Mahama has demonstrated an unwavering commitment to the people of Ghana. His approachable demeanor, paired with his genuine concern for the needs of the Ghanaian, has earned him their trust. A trust that is pivotal for any leader aiming to guide a nation through challenging times.
What I really like about JDM is his humility. The man is simply so down to earth, it's unbelievable. He's so humble, it's unbelievable. I really like that about him.
John Mahama osuro nyame, odo nyame, osuro nyame, openi pasem, okita kumapa. Mihu ne se mihu mi nua bema. Oye obi nso a onyiyi nipam. Wo ya akwala o, wo ya opani o, wo ya pepeni o, wo ya twivi o, wo ya bebia o, tribe bia o fi bia John Mahama te wase. On ka se we nye twivi, we nye we ni. John Mahama nse nipam.
President Mahama is practical. He communicates his issues very, very well. And he understands the Ghanaian politics very well. He understands the Ghanaian people very well. And that is what I like about him.
The brand, John Dramani Mahama, is not just a name. It represents resilience, strength, progress, and empathy.
I believe John Dramani Mahama is loved by many. His personality is so unmatched, and I've heard so much about how he has helped people in their difficult times, even when he wasn't yet a president. His love for God is so admirable, and his love for kids and the youth is so much amazing. And I'm not so surprised my kids get so much excited anytime he shows up on the screen.
I admire his tolerance. In 2016, a lot of people attacked his person. No one got arrested, no one disappeared. He just allowed time to judge, and here we are. That's a good leader.
Mahama's previous tenure as president distinguished him as the infrastructure king. His visionary leadership facilitated projects that have transformed our communities. Roads, schools, and healthcare facilities were built and improved. The energy sector received a big boost with excess megawatts of power, laying the groundwork for sustainable development. But the journey is far from over. Mahama has made a solemn promise to reset Ghana's economy, enabling a collective resurgence toward building the Ghana we truly want. A Ghana of opportunity, prosperity, and accountability. Through his promise of a 24-hour economy, he envisions a nation where jobs are abundant and where people thrive. Picture this: a Ghana where industry operates around the clock, entrepreneurship flourishes, and every citizen has the chance to contribute to and benefit from economic growth. Mahama's roadmap prioritizes creating jobs and ensuring that the nation's wealth is shared across all communities. A true embodiment of economic empowerment. Mahama recognizes that Ghana's strength lies in its people's strength. By fostering an environment of innovation and collaboration, he calls upon entrepreneurs and the youth to embrace their roles as the driving force behind our nation's future. Our strength as a people lies in our diversity. Mahama is dedicated to building a government that upholds accountability and transparency, ensuring every voice is heard and every concern addressed. He invites all Ghanaians on this transformative journey, confident that together we can build a Ghana that not only meets the needs of today, but inspires future generations. As we honor John Dramani Mahama and his new dawn of leadership, we look ahead with hearts full of hope, aligning with his vision for us all. Together, let us embrace this new chapter of leadership, transformation, and growth, forging the path toward a prosperous Ghana for all. Congratulations to the 4th and now the 6th President of the 4th Republic of Ghana, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. The journey begins now.
Akufo-Addo, he had Kente on with no inner. He also showed out how muscular he was at the time in 2016. Then in 2024, we had this one as well. And that's what you're seeing right now with the President, John Dramani Mahama.
Today he's doing the one hand.
With one hand.
Yeah, he's holding the state sword. I mean,
and it's very important. And so it's symbolic as well.
It's the symbol of presidential authority.
That is the symbol of authority of the President of the Republic of Ghana. Now he's held it with double hands, and also that has a meaning. If you recall, this became a talking point in 2016 when he held it with just one hand. In fact, the state sword, as we would call it, the
Omana Akumfua.
Yes, symbol of presidential authority, first held by Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah when he swore the oath of office on the 1st of July 1960. Blake, what do we know about this?
It's made of solid gold. The design is based on that of the double-bladed Afenanta, a traditional symbol of interstate peace, and that is what we saw him holding for the very first time in terms of it being sworn in again.
Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the Nation Builder.
John Mahama waya 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 John Mahama tuchikoko come on John Mahama waya 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 waya
A nation builder is one with vision, a planner and a master tactician. Here's a man with a team that understands that the implementation of free senior higher education, for example, requires adequate infrastructure in order not to destabilize an already working quality educational system. This is a man with a team that negotiates deals in a holistic manner, like the Tema Port Expansion Project that concluded with the construction of the Tema Motorway Interchange for ease of transport of goods. This is a nation builder, one who makes judicious use of resources at his disposal. There are several infrastructure projects in various sectors of the economy accounted for under John Mahama's 4 years of governance. This nation builder is trustworthy, one who is faithful to his promise. John Mahama promised to end Dumso, and truly he did, leaving the nation with excess megawatts of power at the end of his first term in office. This nation builder is a unifier. John Mahama's leadership transcends ethnicity, family, and friends. One whose message resonates with the upper class right through to the grassroots of our society. Same can be said about his communication prowess. It's unrivaled. This year's elections will be about track record. Second is trust. The writings are clear on the wall. The records never lie. Fellow Ghanaians, the choice is ours to make. Fellow Ghanaians, presenting John Dramani Mahama. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the Nation Builder.
John Mahama waya 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 John Mahama tuchikoko. Come on, hey, come on, hey. John Mahama waya 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 waya
A nation builder is one with vision, a planner and a master tactician. Here's a man with a team that understands that the implementation of free senior higher education, for example, requires adequate infrastructure in order not to destabilize an already working quality educational system. This is a man with a team that negotiates deals in a holistic manner, like the Tema Port Expansion Project that concluded with the construction of the Tema Motorway Interchange for ease of transport of goods. This is a nation builder, one who makes judicious use of resources at his disposal. There are several infrastructure projects in various sectors of the economy accounted for under John Mahama's 4 years of governance. This nation builder is trustworthy, one who is faithful to his promise. John Mahama promised to end Dumsor, and truly he did, leaving the nation with excess megawatts of power at the end of his first term in office. This nation builder is a unifier. John Mahama's leadership transcends ethnicity, family, and friends, one whose message resonates with the upper class right through to the grassroots of our society. Same can be said about his communication prowess. It's unrivaled. This year's elections will be about track record. Second is trust. The writings are clear on the wall. The records never lie. Fellow Ghanaians, the choice is ours to make. Fellow Ghanaians, presenting John Dramani Mahama. In the heart of West Africa lies the Republic of Ghana, a nation resilient in spirit, rich in culture, and steady in its pursuit of progress. Today, we celebrate a momentous occasion in our nation's history as we welcome the newly elected President, His Excellency, John Dramani Mahama. In the heart of West Africa lies the Republic of Ghana, a nation resilient in spirit, rich in culture, and steady in its pursuit of progress. Today, we celebrate a momentous occasion in our nation's history as we welcome the newly elected President, His Excellency, John Dramani Mahama. A true nation builder committed to forging a brighter future for all Ghanaians. John Mahama embodies the pillars of leadership that our nation craves: trustworthiness, reliability, modesty, and above all, truthfulness. From the moment he stepped into the political arena, John Mahama has demonstrated an unwavering commitment to the people of Ghana. His approachable demeanor, paired with his genuine concern for the needs of the Ghanaian, has earned him their trust. A trust that is pivotal for any leader aiming to guide a nation through challenging times.
What I really like about JDM is his humility. The man is simply so down to earth, it's unbelievable. He's so humble, it's unbelievable. I really like that about him.
John Mahama osuro nyame, odo nyame, osuro nyame, openi pasem, okita kumapa. Mihu ne se mehu me nua bema. Oye obi nso a onyiyi nipam. Wo ya akwala o, wo ya opani o, wo ya pepeni o, wo ya twini o, wo ya bebi a tribe bia o fi bia John Mahama pe wase. On ka se we nye twini, we nye we ni. John Mahama nse nipam.
President Mahama is practical. He communicates his issues very, very well. And he understands the Ghanaian politics very well. He understands the Ghanaian people very well. And that is what I like about him.
The brand, John Dramani Mahama, is not just a name. It represents resilience, strength, progress, and empathy.
I believe John Dramani Mahama is loved by many. His personality is so unmatched, and I've heard so much about how he has helped people in their difficult times, even when he wasn't yet a president. His love for God is so admirable, and his love for kids and the youth is so much amazing. And I'm not so surprised my kids get so much excited anytime he shows up on the screen.
I admire his tolerance. In 2016, a lot of people attacked his person. No one got arrested, no one disappeared. He just allowed time to judge, and here we are. That's a good leader.
Mahama's previous tenure as president distinguished him as the infrastructure king. His visionary leadership facilitated projects that have transformed our communities. Roads, schools, and healthcare facilities were built and improved. The energy sector received a big boost with excess megawatts of power, laying the groundwork for sustainable development. But the journey is far from over. Mahama has made a solemn promise to reset Ghana's economy, enabling a collective resurgence toward building the Ghana we truly want. A Ghana of opportunity, prosperity, and accountability. Through his promise of a 24-hour economy, he envisions a nation where jobs are abundant and where people thrive. Picture this: a Ghana where industry operates around the clock, entrepreneurship flourishes, and every citizen has the chance to contribute to and benefit from economic growth. Mahama's roadmap prioritizes creating jobs and ensuring that the nation's wealth is shared across all communities. A true embodiment of economic empowerment. Mahama recognizes that Ghana's strength lies in its people's strength. By fostering an environment of innovation and collaboration, he calls upon entrepreneurs and the youth to embrace their roles as the driving force behind our nation's future. Our strength as a people lies in our diversity. Mahama is dedicated to building a government that upholds accountability and transparency, ensuring every voice is heard and every concern addressed. He invites all Ghanaians on this transformative journey, confident that together we can build a Ghana that not only meets the needs of today, but inspires future generations. As we honor John Dramani Mahama and his new dawn of leadership, we look ahead with hearts full of hope, aligning with his vision for us all. Together, let us embrace this new chapter of leadership, transformation, and growth, forging the path toward a prosperous Ghana for all. Congratulations to the fourth and now the sixth President of the Fourth Republic of Ghana, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. The journey begins now.
you know, and assassin ye, and was for Yamamunia Chimokwaba, Ediba, ye Dwabo Ase Jumedi and Twaso, Eddie Free Ghana Rasha Fee, na a jebo, and a day, and a day, a betche, or my Ghana, Kwanya, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, and ne NDC Abino, Ebabo, Ediatua, Sadabaya, Ghana na what's your sign ye biono, Ghana na emun womano, ye Gregua, yes, I'm Bashan Fufru Biono, and a day, and an insema. Wabekam Rasha Fie, for on my Ghana, yem prem, a bobreno, a bedine nina Eddie. Bidiana Kwame coming in your bema. Na yabandi and yabasadi as he Canada, na wabra yabam Rasha Fia, and opay near Yahuya any a free a year entrance for Didi Moabesi, a year biaya away, I am Rasha, a fear Nankasankasano, Bambono, the ultimate say a coso, kama na fenso. Bibia say, and that day State of the Nations address His Excellency John Dramani Mahama Ebabe deliver Ghana Rasha Ebe Koso. Na asana and that day be about 10 year PSA and ne domna omo ne mo che anope you know. And some P na man for the drona ame mame maswo say truck driver say taxi driver say labor union civil society organizations ahodo and some do drona no ma o mame maswo won near Omosha animo say His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ka ebeboa ama oman no etimi akodanim na Ghana man no ye kasa obrembon baby agina nie enoma hodo a ye gina so edema oman ye oman no dodo na adwiragu and reflected on various sectors of the economy eba energy eka ho eba education eka ho eba eye agriculture ekanti ye ntimi je normal hodo ase benso agric minister no adan na di say obey na ni afriso na watibe to anamo ahodo a ebehwe ama noma agina ye all sectors of the economy asem ene ho but the president Mahama beka ne no based on analysis TCI no ene be kire ekwan a wo friend resetting Ghana ya oba bebo e de ato e de ama amansa nyina ya dey e de akire ene ne be kire say e ka me na ya ye dam yi aban ampampa o wahoden a obetime yi o my Ghana afrim sika ye pe e de akekere man yi ene His Excellency John Dramani Mahama won ka say mu no dodo na e hwe animu say obedan na de akere biakra sika no be free aba ye betime de abo o man ne bra even though ye nyan deliver a budget statement no na wutie labor unions no so mo kama ekodru said ye amanyosem any amemwo esitie e wo man Ghana wo mu susu yem no o man Ghana ye mu ya che eti mampanyi kasa no enkire ekwan a wo ba to said be ye nkabom be dey e betimi adan ne wadi and me sure say answer ne ye ba ha say no wonso wodi wani afa enoma mu ahwe said ye noma esitie obrebo
kwame eye no kra ene so wodi wani ba behwe mrahye bedwam ahanoma enya agudie kra said ye abribia mampanyifo betena so a wo mo ye no no enen so His Excellency John Dramani Mahama President of the Republic oba mrahye bedwam na afi oman ne bobia oman no said ye cross said ye obeto no ene enhyehyeye a one na ban so mo di gu akwan mo oman no betimi afa ne ntema pa bi efra enti anopai minya bedu ye pe ana me call chambers so ba bia mrahye bedwamfo omo di omudwuma na kwame o hwe ban ball omo di bedwam na nkasa o hwe ban ball omo di gu akwan for enadwumadi na ebekoso na enya de keto akra ye wo twene bi ti se fonton from kwame abribi adwumadi kase bi sei ebekoso no eya no mo de ba mrahye bedwam na ene de na omode aba no kwame eso wasen me no kwani eso so yie pa oso wa pa nti kwame se me kan de anu hu se enye ene wo mo bebo apai no kwame se wo hwe de wa omani abre na fe enkraman a kwame se sei ye ba be di dwumadie bi a amampanifo ne mpanifo ba sei a wo bon se ye de o maba na womu hwehwe tokrom womu hwehwe a enkonwa ase no me wura ho nso me hunu ye se sankrama ni bi wo ho a womode wo nam eye bedwamu ho ankasa womu hwe se ebia obi kra de bi akwapo hye ho a ebetimi aha adwene wobreko a
and where issue a was ye interrogate wabra ye kwa ne mfi se nansemu bedwamu hyiamu ahodo a ekokokwoso e wo ye memu na se ya sha se introduce yes, I sniffer dogs, no, and it's no man, minimum the airport, but be sure say eche ye be interrogate na ye hunu said ye normal ACT mrasho bedwafo no so dodo na ba me ye sure say anope woni twa honorable ye ketempi honorable Kwame Gakpe ye ka say o nchemu eche bi obeba betena say na ye ne no akasa ba wutie labor unions na and honorable ba me de san komo no beto nanim ti o mo nsem o mo ka e de fa ni o mo say enchichemu anampa pa mu e wo man mu na amanyo politics and e de san papa mu no aba we interrogate ya we bisa ho say e de no mo ka fi say ya to abawie sabre ba bia ya duru ye oman chechire ye enti papa mu asem be no mo ka fi say oman Ghana ha say mre bia ya to abawie e ya politics no entire nkosa e ya na mre bia sa ma no homene so fi say amanyoko na wodi ntwo ewa abatu onim no eya mpempi no pese ono so kire se odaso ho eya mpempi no ono so pese wo kire se enye se ho keke nenso wonim chen wonim de a chen a political party na wa ban ni for instance mama mfato bi hwe ono abo apanyo marken ensem ni bia ya no time ma maso won se misa kwan so ewo appointment committee no tie ne nkomo a eya wotai die ewo mrahye bedwafie ni nyina ye omo nyina kwan omo peso omo fa so se de be ya omo ho be ye Ghana fo akono anase Ghana fo be hunu so omo so nim bibi se de be ya ehumobro bi beba ekire bi ni nyina strategy so se labor unions no ana TUC e ka se empapa mu aba all because of the way aye politics and I say partisan politics actually I would rather prefer say they speak to the specific way and they see and nothing na yadwene say ne sa
Kwame no kure woman say nipa bebre and America na say abenya e free mu ko MPP abenya e free mu ko America tiawa yi mu no Kwame bepe me ne no woman sheda nyintu mu say tumi ni enkita omobio ana woman mi hunu say His Excellency John Dramani Mahama Orban also reflect, review, and your friend saying reset. And only titra sama eda ye Independence Day celebration. Yes. But Orbano you say ye be resetting mine. Yes. And TUC say and one chiremu ye one fan fato ho and matter ho. The Etienne say Ghana memo especially under the tenure of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama in the chapter 2 when any business as usual. And yet, whom do you know? No, as usual, sir. And yet, said you're not Ghana. I remember one tiano. And yes, I don't here. That's right. There be a meka. Mr. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Why your president paying? Aquatine fie in fear watching. Kwame Shaniema Wakwakuno. And the Shaniema Wakwati. Shiahuno no diaba.
So in dealing with the concern of the TUC, I was saying Papa Muaba and Papa Munabano and send ye see ya manual 70 and I'm an ambassador. And then I'll share news of Mampany, John Mahama Bekan, a bit mama to Yamaba, say Sassam was so much.
No cranny say. And that day, Ghana for sharing bebre na sharing say and same be His Excellency John Dramani Mahama obetimi aka a revocation of appointment no one sem. Okay. And Kwame on chirem na fe TUC for nsem o ma babeka no wo mo mi hye den ho mo nyina so papa bi.
I have a feeling say we connect this same way to the TUC for aka say and papa mu aba. I have a feeling say I say o patch say yes me bo akire me. I say o patch say Nancy Omoma Assams was say the way a binding go about a year late recruitment. Yes. A binding sister Adriano. Who GDP said Nunti no more say and Papa Mwaba or anyone.
Kwame and one on the
could that be the reason?
And Emmy Des Sabri Amino de Casa, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, what bomb Modiana, what say a committee Eba Beshe and constitutional review Nana or Kahwa Seven Kwame. Say I'm ready to me about better who said. Yeah, to we are on the 7th of December. No, that's a Kwame, but then you know. Because 2016 to 2017, similar issues happened. No, yes. A man for my own margin, someone from running. That is what we are seeing. And we are just honorable Gakwe, ever kind of bet you more. Very well. So, Emrane Daho, yes, Yemfan Juma. Yes, Sabambia, but not say, send your man for Emrana Jumanity.
ekwan a mo fa so fa enkofo yi ba adwuma mu no enye kwampa so ye correct no
yes
me a me ye aban foforo na me ba
no
wonim said ye mesi aye me budget
yes
wonim plans a me wo
yes
wonim kwan a me fa so wa memu yi mu ba also afa nkofo e de o magu adwuma mu me fo mo nya dan
yes
o bo ba ba ya de so o me so
yes especially so we share in sectors now the various ministries no we share energy sector we share agri sector we share sectors bebree akwame eka amene woman ye fa ba bi to say agri sector akwame yenko cocoa board yenko planting for food and jobs na hwe eka abandi da etwa ko mu no wo ma ba ejade ato ho enti say wa boka sei ma oman yakodu biaya a edi ahokere aba oman ne so a adenti na wo pese wo ye massive recruitment and appointment at the embedding and now what they swa aban foforo na obem no ayi fa na okofa skande atu asese kwame say e ka mene wo man Ghana and then was a Ghana fo nyina enti ase okay ka da ye no so enti Excellency John Dramani Mahama kwame me ade ba ko pa ne so ka ho asem na osini popi say enkopem say obewie ne term say president no na wahyehyɛ ma emra mmarahyɛbadwamfo agye atomu say Ghana ha yetu abewia on the 7th of December yetu abewia no appointment or recruitment should be made.
Okay.
Conviction here,
enye pain Matthias here. Me wo se kodwa asempa furniture works abekan ho e Facebook live. Sanso na Yakubu Dombote offenso Kaira ono so about say Ghana will rise again inshallah. And Isaac Ado and so share live anopay Sanso na Evanso Fosulabi and so butu our Facebook Ase man and so our free Ase Ventures I war and cry also share life Yakubu Musa say John Mahama ekoswa ye on my Ghana and it so echebiano mrasabedwa fodo na yensa komo ewa ha say no ye no omomo dodo na ebetwetwe nkomo babi a wo bia no brabeka ho wo expectations den and that day His Excellency John Dramani Mahama at the State of the Nation's address eba betu the State of the Nation address ne ye on my Ghana ye mprem bobre na wabra odi ye mprem bobre na asa tebia no etudwa no obekire no ma hodo a wo mo de ba betoto akwama ebeboa ma oman no asa afa ntema pa afra. But one critical issue yen yedi hu komo wo Dwabo Ase eye ne na no mampanyi John Mahama eka kire adwumayefo wabra wo ma omo akatua entumu wo hanchichemu edu wodan na di se emprempremi o my Ghana abedane bone adwosuo abeye crime scene and the facts abeye crime scene no eno na amana ye de ama sese akatua entumu no kra no wode nam ba bia wode nam no but amanfo peso mu hu ede crime na akoso crime scene no ede na wom me ye sure so no bo gakpe e wo answers no wabra me kɔ ne nkyɛn ɔno bo kwa me gakpe ye mo agye mo akɔ aba keta this year bibi abɔ kɔ anɔpa die ya me na do be hwe ani a wo nai adai
hey 24-hour economy now starting.
What's us here? Yes. What Brazil will be? And we have 24-hour economy.
Yeah, 24 hours. This is we need to protect our president. And okay. We are not leaving any stone unturned until military is currently sweeping everywhere to check and see whether there's no hidden weapon or arms anywhere. And then we are making sure we protect our president.
Na sadi na buame na mente ase nansem mu no moni akọ bambon semnu to the sense even recently Abraham Rashobja for your frame improve mu semum na na mon kotena the other side one me hu say speaker yes enkrama omu hwehwe ade yi omu ko hwehwe ho na no ye inauguration President John Mahama and so bambo mun sem sa and then so sa ade na akoso.
Prevention is better than cure.
And then you prevent it.
You may not know.
Oh my Ghana, you should be mine.
Yes, you mind, but it's here, but burning for your doors. And yes, you live in this 2 and 10.
I don't gather intelligence be now.
So intelligence is the day gather. It's everything we will tell you because I mean, burning for others, and because of that, and you be an editor to you.
Matthias, Matthias, okay. Now Yamra and day, Mampenny, a Casem, and no many beer. A man for her and he will say, what dress a bit me at the abotoyam abon man. The decline a year.
Yes.
A man for say, a man for say, I would tell me. A dear na mampenny barber car. A bit mamania, Amiania, Rishamu say, and no many better.
And then Ghana from who the whole the deepness of the hole. MPP4, Ghanaian people will listen to that.
I'm an Acacia.
Yes.
MPP are buying 2 years. Say another year.
And then some of the things they have done in the depth in road sector, the depth in general. And then Katane Proye, I mean, you will see some of them, the highlights. And then illegal, you will see the highlight of that also.
So near Magana, ye crime scene, you know. And no Mampenny Baba Boss crime, no, said yes,
yes,
with evidence.
With evidence, with summary. With summarize one, because a lot have happened in this country. And then he will be talking about 24-hour economy also. The president, I envisage, he will be talking about agriculture, value chain, and then he will be talking about security.
I remember, but you stay on side crime scene and common because I'm for per se, man paying chile ye pa.
Yes.
Send you will see canon nano bra one a my fosia, no. A yamafa dream na am I ya curious.
Yes.
Crime,
corruption,
and always when you should state of the nation's address. I'm young crime or
no, Bobby so. I mean, it's clear. Looting, you see, state capture will come because a lot of government properties have been looted in terms of land, in terms of housing, in terms of borrowing. The quantum of money they borrow and then nothing. Even in the Hansard of Parliament, a lot of evidence is there. We know the quantum of money they borrow because all the borrowing passed through Parliament. So we know. What are we talking about? How can you pay $11.9 million for Palugu multipurpose dam? Okay. And as I speak to you, there's nothing to show. Evidence is there. We approved the loan. Yeah.
And
Palugu, look at in terms of school feeding, in terms of even sports. Look at the all African games, the money they pay in terms of feeding. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. So what we are talking about, look at the cathedral, 58 million. It's here, it's just here. That can complete agenda 111 buildings.
It will be when you know, I mean,
I say, even in terms of all those things that they promised you are not borrowing, when you put it together, it's almost cost Ghana about 18.
Okay, but another question. But I buy never better normal way in also.
So to let the citizens know, because it is the people, it is the power of the people that puts you there. And the Ghanaians, President Mahama is serving Ghanaians. He's a humble servant. So those who put you there, you let them know what have happened, and then based on that, we reset Ghana and move Ghana forward.
And you can be sure or person what them excuse when you ain't normally bino.
When you see the less than 2 months, the way the management of governance in this country is moving smoothly at the fastest rate. President Mahama is not coming to give us excuse, but we call something in research baseline. You must know your baseline before you see how you will move, and then based on that, you'll be moving with your indicators. So Ghanaians need to know the baseline that President Mahama is setting for. So the baseline is that a car the quantum. They need to let Ghanaians know, and that's the baseline. Whether it is positive or negative, Ghanaians need to know that we are starting on negativity, but gradually it will be fixing the economy.
Okay.
Look at the energy sector. Yeah. Look at ECG.
Yeah.
I mean, look at what is happening there. The roads.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
So you need to put those things in the domain for Ghanaians to appreciate.
Yeah.
That this is where we are starting from.
Yeah.
And that this is where we are going.
Yeah.
But
would that help Ghana Nina Kene what packet Tumono? I'm an Atinientia, Yentiman to Mount Cosro.
They will comprehend the germane issue, the issue that is happening. So they will comprehend that, so this is the situation in which we are. Then from there, every Ghanaian must do what? Must sacrifice.
What about the obey political mischief? Our Badrian say, Mommy man same way, so Sadabaya, Mobile Trump for you say, by now, what best in Kono, any Amanuko, your friend MPP, no. Is it not politics as usual?
Oh, it's not politics as usual. This is reality. It's not politics as usual. In this way, it's any will be an awesome. So there are people who intentionally do dislike President Mahama. We will not fault them that they are entitled to their opinion, but the reality and the factual issues will be stated today to set the record straight, and so that we take it off in terms of research agenda.
When you have your marking, leader, your marking, minority leader, your tyrant issue be said, answer an allegation be an Obama. No one will be the needed hearing. So answer the President Mahama Beba Bobo and same way in our sono. Or more form hono. Yamomo the needed hearing. Amiate nientia. Sans me etiniatie.
The truth is bitter. It's once. The reality is it not true that we have dug hole, which cost Ghana $58 million.
Eh, no crap, baby, yes, sir.
This is cathedral, and cathedral. You and I, we are in this country. Good,
but they had 58 million a year and winning.
I don't know.
And I'm an one now share. Now the year 10 say.
No, but $58 million. You are here. You are not. You are being in this country. You are matured enough. So how can a hole alone cost $58 million, which can do a lot of projects?
So you don't need to hear anyone.
You don't need to hear
to arrive at
this, because the evidence is there for you to see. $11.9 million in terms of Palugu multipurpose dam. Go there and see. There's nothing that is happening. There's no one block even there. So what evidence do we need to say this? National service, the rot that is happening, the ghost name.
Yeah.
Over 88,000 people actually put into the payroll. Ghost names. Do we need rocket science to unravel this? The things are there. The rot is there. It is true. Is it not true that they are grabbing land? They are buying cantonment land at the cost of what? 40,000 and 140,000 Ghana cedis. When lands are cost over $3.5 million in the same place. So what are we saying? Do we need rocket science to unravel this?
But do we know the people behind it?
We know.
Do we know the people who are buying the lands?
We know. The evidence is
do you know the
there.
circumstances under which they bought the lands?
There is no circumstances under which you give government land at cheaper price to anybody. If you pay the real value, nobody will fault you. Because, well, if government is selling something, one can't you buy? If you have the necessary resources, you can acquire. Nobody is faulting about that. But we are talking about value for money. And in terms of the property, you underprice it cheap to give to yourself. That's what we are talking about. So you don't need rocket science to unravel this. They are there.
All right,
and then the hardship. Are you not seeing it?
I want to yeah, TV XYZ and I'm so with here Power FM and a Radio XYZ 93.1. Your Ghana Brashabbe Fia Nede, your man paying John Dramani Mahama. Ede on mine or ye brim tibia, ye brim bobre honsem, ebe babe to jaw brasso be fie. Ye minim say, Emo non do no honorable, Emo non do no, na jumedi no, ashasie. And I said, you're saying, President Mahama was here and no man, may sure say, by 10 a year, and pampa, oba be drew and na jumedi no, ashasie. What brasso be fie any man, obo say, ya bo apataki to be, na sa patana ya bono, minim say, camera MCR minim se mbetimi ayi e dia kire mu a apataki to na ya bo we anim no e wona se mampanyi ba obeba be inspected the guard of honor na wakogina na ya twa no crusade na fei wetime wura mraso bedwam na dwumadie no ahyehye so and typically say wura mraso bedwam ase no na matana se dada.
Yes, yeah, betna se dada, but it will be led. They will be leading in by majority and minority. And then the speaker.
Leader. Okay.
The speaker will usher in the president into the chamber. That is how it is.
Okay.
And then
it will be ansana.
Oh, there will be prayers. There will be singing the national anthem, the pledges, and then some few comments from the speaker, and then based on that, then the speaker will actually ask the president to deliver the State of Nation address. At the end of the day, some few comments, initial comments from majority and minority. And then they call it a day.
Meaning say other people no wash swaa
But this is how.
But typically, State of the Nation's address, Okay.
And I don't think we do any other business apart from that today.
Okay.
So, and then after that, then they will start the day for the debate.
The debate.
And then that will go next week. Because as I speak tomorrow, I mean, we, the majority caucus, we are going to hold for our retreat and to reorganize certain things. So, at the end of the day, I mean, debate will basically start from Tuesday.
Okay.
Tuesday. So
all right. Your expectations, Nimubio. Titu on 24-hour economy.
Yes.
Remember the kind of so. 24-hour economy, no, a year TUC. Almost a Mampayim Betchim ye. May assure so woman Yakrom because with diagrams. Ombechim ye. Now, Manfonte at baby potea. 24-hour economy no because Emre potea ebeba. And no more befaso, and this 24-hour economy. No,
so it's understanding of the people. People must appreciate, say, we 24-hour economy, no, who is both public and private sector. Who a company, for instance, farmers produce a lot. If a company, the policies, ye share here. When we say farm gates, no, a lot of post-harvest losses. So if they are constructing roads to those areas that bring food stuff to this country, construction of roads, and then we are mechanizing agriculture, not subsistence farming again, and then we are adding value to it. So value addition, if the farmer knows that if he's producing tomatoes and there is already market, and the companies are processing it, they will produce a lot. But if you are not producing a lot, you are not producing, then you don't have market. Why will you produce a lot? So there will be incentive given to farmers in terms of input. They will give them some soft loan, and then those who want to go into agriculture. So when they produce a lot, there is already market there. When it comes to processing, that is what we call agri-processing. The agro-processing and agribusiness. So that is where the issue is. Value addition. That is where they have to run the shift. 8 hours. And a lot of people will get a job. And then in terms of security agencies, they will be absorbed because the more businesses are springing up, they need security to protect. So more people will be taking. Our port, as I speak to you, by 6 o'clock the port will close. Why should we close? Can't we do 24 hours at port? People can clear their goods. Is that airport is doing it? So what happened that our harbor in terms of Takrari and we can do that. Are you getting the point? As we speak to you, go to DVLE. By the time Goro boys are there, and then look at passport office. So it is not all government institutions that will do 24-hour economy. Are you getting the point?
That's right.
Some selected ones will be doing. And in addition to the private sector, those who are into business, those who have factory, they can produce 25. Look at the steel company, iron ore. They can run 25. Look at our health service delivery, private sector and mover. They are doing it already. Ours to shape it well. So when we talk about 24-hour economy, it's not entirely the whole government machinery everywhere, including private sector. Look at our court system. Why can't our court system do 24 hours? Cases are there. Some cases are there for 15 good years. Some are 20 good years. Why can't you start mechanizing the court, deploy ICT, technology, and then they start to do 24 hours in terms of discharging of the cases? So that at the end of, look at a lot of people and remind for 20 years, 19 years, where they can deploy 24-hour system where they can fast track those cases and adjudicate on those cases and come with the verdict. All those areas we need to actually invest in there. This is what we are talking about. Road construction, infrastructure. When you go to elsewhere, 24 in the night they are constructing. Roads can be constructed in the night. We do. In elsewhere they do. So, but in Ghana, it's only daytime we construct through. But elsewhere, during the night, that they do more of construction. Building, infrastructure, they do it in the night. So, those are the areas we are talking about.
Okay. What reasoning, and the definition?
SONA is not the only platform to actually set the policy of 24 hours. SONA is a summary of so many things and policy direction and some highlights. But they have created the decks for 24-hour economy where the policy will come and give directions. So they should wait. It's early days yet.
Don't you feel, skepticism, what amount for Bimuno? I know now freeway aba.
Yes, sometimes
people are skeptical.
Say,
yeah.
Yeah, but they have been traveling. I did not see airport running 24 hours. I did not see transport system running 24 hours. I did not see restaurants and other places running 24 hours. I did not see, when you go to China, I did not constructing 24 hours during the night and day. I did not processing. What are you talking about? The evidence is there. And in Ghana, some companies have started already, and they are there doing it. So even the hospital facility, go to Kolebu, are they not doing throughout the night? The examples are there. So it's not anything that we just want to make sure that policy rules and more people get employment, the youth are empowered, and then people feel, so people belittle the policy and they want to cast certain innuendos about the policy. It's to them. It's their own problem. But so far as we are focused,
mischief, born out of
because in fact, to be truthful, they say focus demands sacrifice.
Yeah.
To be focused, you must sacrifice.
Yeah.
So we will sacrifice and be focused through to the 24-hour economy.
But more 4-year mandate.
Yes.
More 4-year mandate. Meaning say the earlier you do it, the better. And then mampenyi bache eda potea and I'm potea. 24-hour economy.
24-hour economy have started already there. They have formed the decks. They are fashioning out the policies very well. So, you prepare and take off. Preparation is part of 24 hours. Planning. Planning and all that.
It takes how many years?
Well, it's not about years. It's not about year and days. Are you getting the point? It's not about a year or this. It's a policy that will come to stay. Are you getting the point? Elsewhere, are we not doing even teaching? People are doing in the night. I know some professors in Ghana who teach, who teaches their students around 12 midnight, even 1 a.m. It is happening in Ghana.
Yeah.
So we are re-echoing that and make it proper policy for us to take off properly.
That's right.
So as for belief, it's not about sloganeering. Are you getting the point? Tell me. The person who is telling you 24-hour economy is talking to you. Look at his track record. President Mahama, during the 4 years term he served, the 4 years, he only technically served about 3.5 years.
Yeah.
Because 8 months they were in court, court issues, so he was not really focused. But look at the infrastructure development in this country. Look at his track record in terms of road. Look at his track record in terms of health. Look at his track record in terms of market. Nobody, no government in terms of MPP can match President Mahama's record. So it's somebody who have a track record, positive track record. He's talking. It's not about somebody who talk a lot and do nothing. No.
About our Japan, Simadunkru, Yugosani Honorable Kwame Gakwe, and I was a member of parliament, Madichia. Keta Empeso so enchebia another member of parliament so ever be kan home who say what in chem onyenwe edechebe many abo Erica Hianyo so me hu na chepa Eric baby a wo bia be chia why as a TV that feel TV do I feel Erica Hianyo many abo no so here but last one and sana mamo quick one just a summary at the end of the delivery no a dear now be expected say President Mahama Beja ebe ma ya hoto so bi say ampampa ye ba be reset
giving hope to Ghanaians. There will be hope. Giving hope to investors, Ghanaians, and especially the Ghanaian youth. He's going to give us hope. That is all that matters. And then based on this, we'll be inspired to actually move. And then it's going to inspire a lot of every worker. You know, those days people go to work and then go and read graphic and go. Those days are gone. We are in serious business. It is time to reset Ghana, and everybody must be committed. And that is where we, as a members of parliament, we are committed to do the need.
Very well. Honorable, may I say?
Thank you very much.
And no adaja when you are my say, and a busy day. Beja mo akona wetimi akodi udwuma e wo mrase bedwam. Na HB a wo mrase bedwam no. Ye wo mrase bedwa fie, ba wo mrase bedwam no. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ebe unity na fei o man Ghana ye mpremprem ye tebiem ye bobrem no ehon nsem no watimi adan na di e de ache but nsem ahodo a TUC e de atutu dwa no ehun pa and whether how our President Mahama ebe address those issues no would determine how our labor front no ebe si in the coming days. For instance, omo raise issues about late recruitment no omo kan ye e wo mo statement mu e che said ye omo si ni aban no enya adwen na omo de ka omo nko no ka aban no e de sa asem no ato ho aban mu mpanifo e de omo cheche mu aba bede na de na mampanyi be ka e betu ama abotoyem aba wo sa asem ni mu honorable a obe cheche mu e na fen so labor unions TUC oma raise the issue of partisanship and how wo mu susu yemu no acha man mu wo mu diagnosis of partisanship acha man mu no eye no kre anase eye asem bi e no mu ka enimu honorable Sulemana e wa say time mrase bedwani honorable ye mo achubo akwa aba
me jo semenia
bibia boko de
nyame adom boko
is it time nyina na betra yo
very much
na time for de no mo hwe animu say mampanyi be ka ebe ma ani jaba time
oh me gidi say reset agenda na na yefrase enu ti wo hwe economy a ya beto so na time for hwe ani say emprimpri ya president ma be kire yen say me baaye no energy say na tie education say na tie health say na tie communication say na tie economic indicators I want to say na tie afei na nti yetimi agina eno so e dey policy proposals a ohwehwe no aba nti ne ehwehwe nyina na Ghana fo nyina hwehwe ne time fo ohwehwe ne say sisi ya yegina hoyi ye disu ansem no etisen ya pomudi ansem etisen ye communication ansem etisen ye nya basis no wi a afei yetimi atoa so
me bisa no boga pe the same question also me bisa sa etisen na wo se mampanyi betwa ho mfonyi di akyere no adenti na hia especially for obi obedwen say oh sa etisen cheche mu no ye de ba eya mpempi no amanyofo mo kwan amofa so e dia pay excuse woni enti a enoma bi amose mo be mu ntimi nye no
wonim ba bia ugina unhu ba bia obeko very important say be hu ba bia yegina sisi a kayon so say oman na ye de ahye yensa ena kayon so say ye constitution no ade a edi fapimo constitution no pa e accountability say ye bebu nkompon ahwe yechi enu nti say ye hu ba bia yegina na ye bebu sa accountability na chere Ghana for ehe na ye di begina enti ye pese Ghana for hu ba bia yegina enu mpo no say e ba say yen yamamuo no ekoyi a Ghana for be hu say o mbe fa ni sei e na o mu di aduru sei ankoyi a Ghana for be hu say o mbe fa ni fei e na o mu di aduru sei enti e very important say ye be hu ba bia yegina sisi a
okay sa bone na ema mampanyi ka say bone akoso wo memu ha no na ma oman no abaye bone adwosuo no ene mampanyi be kire bone kro akoso na wo kire a nkwa wi akire no be kwa kosi sei
ne kwa kosi ni say o mampanyi aso afenam say obehwe Ghana so emfie dan wapam nipa ebeboa no ene so o kire ye bone na me expect so obesia kire yen ekwan ebefa so a ebefiri bone no money ni de e was so kire because o kan say a crime scene no nipa bebre trim ya mo kasane ne enti epese ehu how the crime scene is yehu wi a afi no wa kire yen kwan ebefa so a ye be free mu enkakra be free mu eno nko na Ghana fo no benya gidi aka say okay ye betimi atwen wa won say tripartite fo ko hia he no na nipa bebre ehwehwe say oh ye be to akatuama na kwa anim brother nse baby waduru na nyoma no ntesa enti na obekire yen a na wa kire ne entia na wa mamanfo nso ahontoso say emra ewo yanimi ehihye edi agu akwan mu ni se nyame ya adom ne ye koyanimu a ye betimi amamu akatua no ne ye boro ne ye di amamu iso basesi ade enam ba ko mienu miensa we a ya betu nti wan kire mu sa Ghana fo no ntiase enti sa ade kire ne kire na fe ya kire ekwan so a ye fa so a ye plans a endi sa ban le ba no so wasan ede a kire mu
yeah ba ho ye ba san komo na hia pa but let's deal with the TUC raise and no many be o ma raise said ye party sem acha mayimu to the sense say omo e bompa say mampanyi kasa emu no anaso omo say mampanyi e kasa emu no ondan anamontuo bi adi ekwan bi obebo adi e bebo amasa de no anu abrase mampanyi be sa de na
enye reset na afrase
party sem bi acha emu ana
enye reset na afrase no
ba me bisa say party sem bi acha emu
me be ansa enye reset na afrase no
well
emfie be yongotwene wa hu say TUC atima ba abontia be kasa bibi achiche yemu nti obi nkan yemum da bi gidia TUC any Ghana for our president mama mu no eni nti omo kasa no da bia me ka kire nipa bi me ka kire media for yi say So man be our wa. Send your man no some tear no. A chile send your man panino dear enmity. O man panino subano and a di o manum.
Yeah.
The demeanor of the president.
Yeah.
Ne aspirations and your mouth send your no.
Yeah.
Now who say Bosumi Munu or my way moajo. Who say Bibia di obi e kona juma, even though I'm on for a but Omonia renewed hope say Bibi ye momo. NTTUC, who say, Ya no mampania, ya kasa, obetie. Kamusa o my way in Chicheriano. Political party in Quantum Chichere. Your trade union congress or who hear constitution or hear history. They are critical component of development. But maybe by my way more, not using Timin Kasa. Na GJ Timin Kasa. Na Ghana Bar Association cross politics here.
Yeah.
All the institutions are show more Emma democracy because no mean Timin Kasa. But Bosumi Unini, so who say closer I start take Kasa. Almost some person almost strike.
That's right.
TUC I start take Kasa. I should say democracy now President Mama say you come and reset Ghana. No reset Nana.
But I am on call for be say e maybe a Mahama na say this we ba no. Ayana mo nua no mo MPP no. E ko show machi e piepie o matiko e masade we etimi koso.
You can't
enye say bia pe no pe wa asema o pe say woda oboa wo ma woda ne bibi. Eno enkofo nsusu ye o. Enye pe wa asem e no pe say wo ma woda ne bibi ye ne ye. Nemo ebu ayana a political mischief. For instance, late recruitment here course ya labor unions they say omunya ya kamampanyin twen say mudi muncheche mu aba nso mo nteye
ne tie ne say democracy no enye ne obeka bia na nipa befa but people should get also omunya akwanya ombetimi aka omadwen me first point no say no TUC anya akwanya omode ka omadwen so obi na she omachi so omo na e kan eno na sana democracy tie the first omonya baby I don't have the evidence, but I'll be surprised at this stage because the goodwill that President Mahama won. So be clear, question wachi. And I'm in person this will be so much no because goodwill that President Mahama won any NDC at this time no. So be clear, question much ya. Many sure say be effective. But I me say, on be come my dream, but me as an individual, neoma kanu efa mejibidi minjibintum. Nemeji tum ne ne omo kafa 24-hour economy hono but nemeji tum yes labor issues no
late recruitment no
me no omo nya adwen ba ko me no omo nya adwen ba ko ne ma me no omo nya adwen ne say saban no okoye no so man no dana koma so a nka ye to aba yi wi a ube hu say hwe budget saban me present budget a there is workforce personnel emoluments of workers aye compensation and emoluments ewo budget no aye kire say aban no ebetua adwumayefo no ka throughout the period now wo ka no eni say what lose election na aban foforo e ba e wo say wo ma sa aban no kwan e ma onu mom ebehwe the labor issues ni recruitment issues so because wo fa na enya ona betua ne ka enya ona the policies be ba ebe ma yen the total number of nipa ye pese ye employ omo.
That's right.
Inti also ma buy an opportunity to come and manage that. So one yes sir, not just having paper new trim.
But what about the collateral damage? I mean, utie labor unions and penifoni bia say obua ye fa na adwuma 8 years ago. Na bia nanse mu no December 7 year mu and as asem na echi o e no nya an appointment letter. Say ni akono ni tiaka.
Minua.
Say ni akono nya den.
Minua, I am shocked and surprised. How is that even possible? Labor laws no is in the bosom of TUC. You can't even hire somebody on temporary basis for more than 6 months. Untimi. And how will somebody get employment? Employment in shadow and wait till 8 years and send when your appointment letter. It didn't happen. MPP lusu akonwa no. And omo ye omadwen say omo sesa enkrofo a omo nimu omo e de agu adwumanum. It's as simple as ABC. It's very, I'm confident about that. There is no other reason. There's no other reason. Ebe explain the nientia omo appointment at this time because government enwane ye. Omano enwane ye. Omano go sote ho.
Yeah.
Enti adana ya to abana mo say governance e continuum there. Adana mo ntwe na government na e ba no. E me recruitment no. Odwen say e wo so ya. Enu nti why fa wa say for appointment na recruitment into nchen bia ha. Enyes abane time wo. but I was say a due process mo. Sabi President Mama say this government abana a crime scene. How much resources do we have to pay for emolument and compensation in the first year? We just give them 10%. Where do you add more when you don't have the resources? Eti Ghana for train near mechanic or ye can you know doing say near Honinachi. So young coffee nipa almost for last minute meguma Ghana for Nankasabe. And for me, I don't agree. I don't agree with Omo TUC argument to say it's for the sake of balance in government. Sani beya ye ma ban difficult for President Mama. Because often the panel want to aneka. Say no say agitations ebeba. TUC for ya na belly agitations no. And unti TUC for ya te asemo mo ka no. Nanso sa asem no nko ade yenso ye no mo nya bi.
Ma pase Mampanyi Mahama won church mu and I said nense mo be ka no. On spend some time bi wo ho. No one chire mu ento enkofo asum na manfo enyo mo ho ntiase.
Of course, I'm sure say President Mama be kire sa asem no. A very critical issue. I'm expecting him say obechrim. Onim say President Mama adwuma wa ebi pen. Enu nti we hu the nuances a ewo mu nyina. Nti me gidi say sa portion no ebechrim because eno na adi amanfo tim kesene ne oto bo no de obi a jai no because ono akwatena nchen. And you see the sad part ne emanu ye ni say the joint transition team enya sa information we ema omo di directives by kokobo ba say abana oko no onya sa recruitment na eko omo antie ana they issue directive say so omo ya sa recruitment na ye ba ye betwam.
That's right.
And I still omo ye enti ebia ade a say ye hu oman we mu say political parties, both MPP NDCs, government, both NDC government, MPP government should get it at this stage.
But is it not interesting how MPP so take advantage of the situation? Omo say, oh yeah, ye ba be charge mo, ye be di manim near the asem na court. Na obi aya adwen say ye be you edi was akwambon ne so no. I mean, those things are more, no. A political advantage, and I say genuineness. We were
hypocrites. Now, MPP were genuineness. So, the Papa Ghana for can you no more. So, MPP were the Papa Ghana for and energy message and Cassani eternity, and Cassani school tier, and Cassina, and MPP had the Papa Momo, and Kayden Mujayama, a do say, or Mobile on Perdima Momo. A hypocrisy is part of the political gimmicks. Let them play the gimmicks, but it won't work.
So, is that the partisanship TUC referred to her now?
And the TUC, no,
I will say announcement.
I am happy TUC is talking now. You see, democracy is giving the people the opportunity to air their grievances.
Yeah.
But me who baby Emano eche da ben 2017 ebesi ne afa no mahu se o manu mu ache afa no mahu se eka ebi nkan bi wo ho now so menua we NDC manifesto we President Mama nyoma nyina the first part is reset entity you see na who say ebia one of the in fact we also spoke about chronism, we spoke about nipa I say enchichemu a ekoso, and that we need to bridge that gap and say TUC and kasa fair enough omo meka ye ho. President Mama is the president who will not ordinarily enti amount for 500 so all them running adwuma. Ordinarily he will not do that. Enti media say the reset agenda na na TUC kwan enti sa ade na e ho a obi identify no. I think say the only president who can do it now, the only president obet ma change your man way no President Mama.
All right, abona otwapa won sima aduasa enso ugusu wo Dwabo Ase dwumadie so wo power 97.9 and afen so TVXYZ and ye ni studio ye studio wo Ghana mrasebedwafie ne honorable madam mama ye studio enti abo mu fie na ye di nkomo wo mu fie ankasa na na de ye mampanyi John Dramani Mahama e de o man Ghana ye premprem tebia ebeba abetudwa kai se ebono ndu pepepe a ye be crossover na nia AC e wo mrasebedwam no ya dan no di e de achemo ba de ba ko so a amafo hwe animu se mampanyi be honorable Dramani honorable Sule.
You want to make me excellency.
Honorable Sule ade ba ko a amafo be hwe animu se mampanyi e be cheche mu ye resetting. I say TUC statement required. Omoda in a duo say resetting no dear any reset wine any reset dabay any reset.
Democracy. Enya abato nko entimi democracy. Democracy enyoma yahihye. Okay, Article 34 of the Constitution, the directive principle of state policy.
Yeah.
Ɛhɔ na kyerɛ sɛ na yɛso yɛbu man no. Na ɛhɔ nso ɛna kyerɛ nipa hodo a ɔmo wɔ say ɛwɔ man no. Enti wohwɛ a yɛwɔ 3 main arms of government. Executive, legislature, judiciary. Ɛno akyi yɛwɔ the fourth estate a ɛyɛ mo. Afei yɛwɔ civil society organizations. Yɛwɔ trade union congresses. Yɛwɔ all the institutions are more democracy. In the last 8 years, especially in the last 4 years of President Nana Akufo-Addo, you can see clearly even the judiciary became problematic. That people lost absolute trust in America. All the Afro barometers, any service amount for abamu bu efa judiciary ho amanfo abamu bu efa even parliament ho amanfo abamu bu efa the executives ho civil society obi antimi nkasa GJ obi antimi nkasa in fact yewura na oye fourth estate Manasseh Azuri he has to leave this country at a point for his life. Very good. And the reset agenda ne say senior 92 96 2000, 2004, 2008, 2012, ebesi 2016 na obia wo ho kwan se bibi koso o man wo motimi ka no na Akufo-Addo apen so na ukasa na edi wachi uye wei na edo hawo sade no e wo se reset. Number 2 sane wo kan ya se nipakuo kakra bi ene edi Ghana adwuma sha o mo nsa se o mo adwen se e yo mo busuanko akuo. It must change. Look, directive principle of state policy, it frowns on discrimination.
Yeah.
So the welfare, the right of every Ghanaian to work must be protected and dignified. So what percent offer nipa wa adwuma mu a I was say omanum from bia to say security services but bia omanum from bia region be also be wom. The only way to ensure that and say obeman level playing field. Now what advertising na obia owo tumu obeyebi owo zebila obeyebi owo enche obeyebi owo nzima obeyebi owo nsoko obeyebi but bi obi obia obetimi apply. That is the way to ensure say constitution e adwuma. President Akufo-Addo ene na aban baaye no omo decide say they can even do recruitment without advertisement. Enti ni be ko kakra bi ni pe ko kakra bi ene nya kwanya.
Yeah.
The reset agenda is to bring Ghana back. Oh say ade na nya set o reset. I didn't know what that. And no be abesisa no. And ye be reset. And the way to make the constitution work, send in a Ghana tear that. Obi kasa onsuro. And now what you are say. So kasa kura na etwi obi a. Emra no ma ho kwan say ni pa be ebe tatawo. Sa nyo mani nyina na president mama person oba oye ni ye. Na no so e na ne ama TUC kwan a o kasa yi because na TUC ntimi nkasa. O kai say ye to aba no wie ya. E na teacher union be start so be ko strike.
That's right.
Sa amena na etwa mu no ko strike ko be yi wadi. And all the labor unions, all the media houses, civil society organizations, everybody have now got access to, and this is what President Mahama be. Now, if you now we be kwa we no, ube who say na a constitution no asan ye adwuma. And this way and this ni na aban no ayade bi na obi no nya adwen na oka ho asem a the reset agenda na say won so benya abotre ehun say ono so stake e wo man no.
Okay, the other areas me try me venture into wabra ye guso a ye di nkomo e de afa enoma ye hwe ni mu say ye mampanyi be kan ba ma kinkan messages kakra aba we every same extra or say honorable aye ni nyina na ne se wo kan fa ye TUC no me ne ya adwen daben e na omo hunu say bibi e koso memu ha yetimi e kasa but honorable is right say mampanyi Mahama bae no enoma emu asesa Patrick Emingetia e chiao omo ache honorable and afen so Martha Domenya and so say so TUC were in this country during MPP's era and yet did not say anything, so why now? Are they saying there's no blood running through the veins of the of officials in the NDC administration? We a message free Martha Ho. Joe Eskin say good morning, watching live inside Lagos, Nigeria. Keep it up, you guys. Michael Kovena and so Mayache, Ray Kofai and so Mayache, Samsona Richard Avove and so Mayache. And baby I will be ano. Obekan ho na wo de wadwenkyere ebetuga yebekenkan ama mansan atonka but ade ba kwa me pese o ye ne se chemenia wo hwe animu se mampanyi John Mahama eka ho asema ebetima boa ama ho atɔ ade na wo hwe animu se mampanyi John Mahama enka wa bra wo de o my Ghana ye premprem tebia ye premprem ebobere ho nsem etudwa ne dai e wo Ghana mrahye bedwafie ya ne wo na ne ekoso sabre ene se ahunsiesi ebremu ene wo testing mic 1212 ekokɔ so ena feso mrahye bedwafo no so dodo na eguso a eba mate se dom kuma no wo mayo madwen se ene dai umbeye bibi what bi wo mo se ene dai se mampanyi kasa wo mo bedan bibi adidi ache no na saa de na yo mo ya pa wuni ma de kro
minimo
what
Mente.
Mate se omo so omo be boaboa nkofo ano ade omo ba ha. What is asem no?
Eno de ensi. Eno de ensi.
Ede na be mo mo se nyina ye.
Nema ensi ni se ye nyina na ewo chamber ho. Ena leadership ahia ye nyina aka kire yen se this sona no mo obi amfa hoho emma especially in chamber mo obi amfa hoho emma chamber. Enti minim
o na so hoho de ye timi ba o.
Yeah, but gallery, ma obi mura chamber ho. I mean, only among category of people. I think only the speaker or something. Just two people. And obi tim do be a chamber ho. Enti minim how mo ka fa nkrofo abaha. Nkrofo mo do mbe ko hin. Enti ye twen omo, but minjin ni say
people speculate say late recruitment asem no. Ene senia nansen mo frɛ from mo nkofo etutu o ma no wonoma bia mususu se ekoso waban dada animu no enumu no na omo befa ho de aye de omo se omo ba be ye no speculations amanfo make
enkrofo na ye frɛ omo ewo NIB say ye hwehwɛ minua sabi mpraduasa ye se ye frɛ wa hemfia wote hwa na ye se na ye frɛ wa ubisa sama ye de bisa nyoma miensa bisa wonsa bisa wano na bisa o baby so wonye hwe a ade na usuro say na be fro. In fact to some of us cry no invitations no so because the nyoma bebre ya hu ni na yate no so many people have a lot of things to answer. Say MPs no ha na say wonye boni obi anfrɛ. Enti you see it's part of the political game. But emra na ekoso no say yeka say ye frɛ ye wura kanoforata na be frɛ kanoforata. Now we are MP, uti chamber ha. Now say, obokwa koko ho ntokwa. We are hypocrites. Because a MP before MP na come who boom say, kenofrate di oman we enya enti enyi no over 90 MPs. E di no mu hu ye. Sa nyomo no mu hu ye no. E na president mama ba ye hu ye frɛ no. Yes yankasa we guilty, yes o meyi na no. Oyina no ye guilty, the law will deal with him. And they can do all that they want. The laws of Ghana will work. And there's no compromise about it. Oh, okay.
That is a mantra.
Oh, okay. Yatiase. So you can't back on. Near Comunina, there. Any other Comunina.
I don't know. Say more the mighty 88.
Mighty. For the West, the Kwame. Obi abetima use West. You can use the West. We are mighty. You can be the weakest person, but go and pretend say we are mighty. You have your mark and so you're mighty. Send no call committee no so no who so you're mighty was on your mighty.
But at the end of the day, what on also be original. Once
so sorry ko e. Oh sorry ko e. You see, democracy is about Jojo. I mean, if the person decides say we are na me media men sama adwea. E yo no ankasa na sem. But yeah, democracy no not for ourselves but for the people.
But you see,
until the people know what has happened.
Nienti ametwitwi we nyina aba na say President Mahama memwe ya oba begina so dia reset your mind. Like it or not, you will need diversity of ideas.
Of course.
Any peoples.
Of course.
Said about betimi dia achichire mind no. Edien na President Mahama betima ka e betima rally omo adwen fufuro nyina bedi na chi Ami achichire man ya boom. After all, ya body the Ghana we want together na.
Minia.
And asasa.
Minia. You are building the Ghana together. Adia ebe boa Ghana for pa. Only reset agenda no. Promise a President Mama and the Ghana for ne say. Proye kan any boni akoso o man we mu no. Se nyame ya adom na obeye president a. Obehwehwem na wa ye behu se wa ye boni e wo sa anyomanum no. O de mra no bediu. In fact, se President Mama si enyoma bebre o Ghana. O ma Ghana fo nyina dwuma. Oye ne oso yo bia na sa promise no de ma Ghana fo say proye ene kankan ene dwuma akoso no. Obehwehwem ama omo a omo ye sa boni no akatua akoma amomo no say wanye sa Ghana fo be disappointed. And the key to the reset agenda is to make sure say those who have been corrupt, those who intend to be corrupt, those who have resources of state, they are returned, they are prosecuted, and the law works. That is the basic fundamentals of the reset agenda. And it's not about individuals. It's not about political party using it as a tool. Nothing will stop us from exacting accountability. For me, it's not even they are going to jail. Look, recovery of the monies because it's about development. It's about development. Look, so be allegedly, yeah, the $58 million Ekoshe National Cathedral for nothing gain. $2 million Sky Train, nothing gain. Pualugu Dam, nothing. And all these things say German kwa ochina me amete hai.
That's right.
So President Mama me appointment me amete hai. And I say resource where the be mama no. I can do with impunity because meaning say we election. That's
right.
And to avoid any future, once a President Mama, and he doesn't just talk about oral or say opal, Operation Prevent. And if you are an NDC appointee, President Mama is coming with Operation Prevent or Loot. If you are an NPP appointee, it's Operation Recover or Loot. Nothing will stop us from pursuing that. No matter how people take it. In good faith, in consonance with promise of President Mama make here to reset Ghana, in consonance with the 120 pack, no loot, and make people pay for their sins. If you have not done anything, no problem. But if you have done something, we will pull you out and do the right thing.
Truck driver, taxi driver, be share. I mean, you say a church of so a share. Yenina Samba Kuniaka, I want to know. At the end of President Mama, Babeka, every hotel so say, I want you to know. We are somewhere around March 10, March 10, and a budget statement. No, Ebeba. Who GDS President Mama Betty Kakra at the chair because you perceive who be a Yinani, yeah, found. And no more boy cost raw, a 12 would do that normal swap. I'm a normal cry, a deba memono, I a day, DNA.
Me wo gidie pa se ene President Mama my direction a opeso de ma o man we fa so ye nyina na ewo chamber ha ye nyina na ye hwe aban a akoi ne waye ye nyina na ewo o man we mu. We have all come into consensus say your biggest challenger ewo o man we mu no eye adwuma eni man no. That's the first thing. The second biggest challenge ewo o man we mu no eye enwoma ye krafra brochire bebre e ma ye sika no eye mremre ewo man we mu.
The
city no. Enti se wo pese o tackle sa nyoma no o de policy different policies are.
Yeah.
Abai bebre try different ways am person mo de solve. Obi ba o se o me planting for food and job. Obi ba o se me 1D 1F. Obi ba o se me into the manufacturing ye ne de or the agriculture ye ne de or the way ye ne de or the way ye ne de. Okay, can you man different sectors. And a President Mama tinche no wa be bi pen. And no tana ya no wa hwe hu say you pese you solve the twin or the triple problem unemployment depreciation of the city excessive borrowing was say enya policy bi a be yes am nyom ni nyina ho adwuma enti for 24-hour economy mra enti ene ne mehwehwe President Mama pa ne say dynamics 24-hour economy no ebe fa so no.
That's right.
Ye be hu enwoma e be tize ho nyoma kakra kire yen na ye hu kwan be fa so a ye be solve the unemployment situation e wo man we mu no na ye be reduce unemployment excessive borrowing na ye wo man we mu no na yetimi aye made in Ghana nyoma e be bo o man we mu say ye sa nyoma na adwuma ba o man no mu a taxi driver na ogyina nkyɛn no obenya adwuma yɛ
yeah
sɛ sika no ho yɛ de yɛsi de ho yɛ de na yɛ kra nyoma bebree ɛma kuyani na ɔkɔfa no 24 hour kon bɛma na nya market afei dwadini na ɔkɔ ɔba no da bi ɔkɔ na ne sika no dollar no ɛne cedi no ayɛ hanyan no ɛso bɛte ama ne ku adwuma na yɛ adwuma enti megye di sɛ policies a aban pɛ sɛ ɔde ba 24 hour economy aban pɛ sɛ ɔde ba women development bank a cut off a section of the population, you know,
yeah.
the vulnerable section, you know.
Yeah.
Me sure say boss wa kuyani a otie me, teacher ni a otie me, doctor ni a health personnel a otie me, adwuma ni a otie me, wa otie me no, obi a benya ne chefa ewo abanum. Me wa rehwemu say the policy a ewo ye manifesto mu no, ebe find space ewo the sona president mama ede banum. Ama yedi agana for hwehwe no, yehu the basis yedi ko anim.
Honorable Minister Dajeni ho. Already and a crack be me be na fe mamuako Nansia ye education forum ye buy a man entity or madisuamu entity mu. What are the sticking issues? And as the issues are wa wo susu ye mu no se ne mampanyi kan betre directional e dey aboto ye beba.
Before I make asara ma me mumu ansema president mama education forum no ho. Education forum no ho. If you say classical democracy actually say was a Ghana for nyina na nke betena chamber ha na enam se nyina yenti betena chamber ha nti yi nipa mako enti nyansan no eni nipa a ewo chamber ha nyansan no eni president mama eni system minister ebi nso Ghana for na eni ha no enti the fact say wa frɛ stakeholders no agye o madwen no very critical ne mehwehwɛ ne say ene president mama nkasa emu education policy a ye de beba no enye just secondary education from the basic level any progression ye de beko secondary level any progression ye de beko the exit level tertiary the three nyina right our education will come back to where it was.
Wow.
The over reliance on secondary education ama the basic level is so rotten and until IMF say we have spent so much money on education but bad educational outcomes. And the needed education outcomes are one, basic education and basic infrastructure at the basic level. The anti-man consolidate here. Now you can say a free senior higher, it doesn't work. In the middle level, a free senior higher, no. President Mama spoke about reviewing. Now Ghanaians will understand what review means.
Yeah.
Review about making the free senior high school better. And then when you go to the tertiary level, it's also streamline tertiary education. But one thing I was expect President Mama to tell us, how did beneficiaries of free senior high all of a sudden move from 5.7 to 3.5? How did that happen?
Honorable
Aduchum Nankasa answered a question by Honorable Clement Park. Parliament are still behind Clement Park in the 8th Parliament.
Yeah.
I'm to answer a question from Clement Parker. Or should say, free senior high beneficiaries, were 5 million, over 5 million. January 2025, President Akufo-Addo came to Parliament to come and tell us, say, 5.7 million.
Yeah.
The 5.7 million came with a cost. It's different from 3.5 million. So what has happened?
It informs what as now.
President Mama should tell us why the disparity, because now we understand that we know the various issues are ever. And that's for education. I want a very shared level, just like health. We want a holistic view, not just the physical infrastructure President Mama is noted for, or Agenda 111 MPP agenda. What is our plan about peace delivery at the various facilities? What is the plan about tertiary issues? And then you better TV so we say now so be heart disease or be kidney disease. Now yes, there's come on. President Mama can so be for to be. I'm expecting a lot of things about those sectors as well. Energy. When we were in power, we realized that the reliance on hydro alone created problems for us. And at the time I be free konyomu na dumso abano, we made sure say we had energy mix. We just didn't rely on hydro. We brought in the emergency power plant at air thermal. We had plans for solar.
Yeah.
Oko Navronga, there was a solar plant that we were starting to build. So I also want the research agenda should also look at the energy mix, how we are going to do the various sources of energy to have energy sufficiency. And these are the things that we were expecting. And because of your time, all the other sectors of the economy, communication, where I serve on the communications committee,
Fintech,
I have absolute trust in President Mahama and Appointia Wafano.
Yeah.
In fact, if you want somebody who knows communication and the agencies and how they works, there could be no better person than Sam George.
But what my Musa question me, who GDA mappa because Sam George a Canada.
Yes.
Who GDA mappa say under President John Yebedru and Pempensua data cheap the ordinary Ghanaian.
Remember very well, say the first ministerial appointment for President Mahama was in the communication sector. So nobody knows the communication better than him. And he has gone to also pick somebody also name communication, you know. In fact, the first assignment directive for area Sam George Ediba Manije home is about the data center, data cost. What committee data cost. No, me sure say you be so papa free home. I'm at the cost of data no above from comparatively we have a higher cost of data compared to our neighbors or more yes.
But in Pempine, yana the end the pushback data no any cheap
okay, it's some got to do with MNOs, mobile network operators, the operational costs, taxes are also. Some have also got to do with government policies. And if the policies are right, if you really listen to the operators, you meet them. You meet the Chamber of Telecommunication, they bring you the expert, they bring you the thesis out. You realize that if government is committed, we can do something about
but
it.
Is it possible?
And that's why the sonar is important. You see, that's why it is important. It's not like nothing can be done. You see, we must get the basis and see the way to go out of it. And the things may not take off only now, but some of the things you get to hear them after 6 months, after a year, things will get better.
Very well. Honorable, may that say.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, Daniel Huabas live for Power FM and at TVXYZ. Yeah, that's why we have Ghana Mrachebe Ahaya na His Excellency John Mahama ever deliver the State of the Nation's address. Few commercial breaks. We'll be right back.
Can I get up? Thank you.
Right in opposition that the system was inefficient, ECG was mismanaging the funds, under declaration of their revenues, and involvement in so much procurement, unplanned procurement, some of them unbudgeted for, and that is what is culminated in this problem. On assumption of office, I asked for the first month report, and what I got to know to the shock of that ECG collects about 1.5 billion, and of that about 500 million is not declared as far as the cash waterfall mechanism is concerned. So what ECG does is out of the 1.5 billion, they keep 500 first before they move in to take some more from the 1 billion, which is in contravention to the policy, to the cash waterfall mechanism. And so far what we are realizing is that they've gone into so many contractual obligations. So many banks deduct their monies at source. They've just gone for what they call a super vendor. That super vendor takes 5% source. And so ab initio, you have a lot of deductions at source, which eats away almost a chunk of the money. So if you take a case scenario like the 1.5 billion, what ECG ought to do is to deposit all the money into a holding account. So all the 1.5 billion ought to go into what you call a holding account.
Right.
Then there's a cash waterfall mechanism committee, which we are reconstituting. The ministry is represented, Ministry of Finance, PRC, and then they would determine the formula to apportion the money. So if ECG decides to declare only 1 billion, what it means is that the 500 million, they keep that money and spend it in-house. 5 billion that we are talking about are monies that are collected, but ECG failed to declare those monies and decided to appropriate the monies and spend them. So when they do that, then power producers will not be paid, generators will not be paid, the transmission grid companies will not be paid, even the levies, which are statutory and passed by Parliament, will not be paid. And that is where you are having some of these major problems. And it's all because they are engaging in what I call very frivolous procurements. Now about 3,000 containers stuck at the port, generating demurrage of about 1.5 billion. That is unacceptable. Some of the things they've procured will last them 10 years. Some would even expire in 5 years. And so we've commissioned a committee to investigate ECG's procurements. And the committee is doing a very good job. So far, the preliminary report have got ECG. They do not follow procurement guidelines. They do not follow procurement processes. They do not conduct a needs analysis. And they just engage in brazen procurement. And so we are waiting for that report. But beyond that, there will be another technical report. What the PwC has done is a financial audit. We want to do a human audit, human resource audit, and a deeper audit of all the energy sector SOEs, which then gives a memo to ECG, directing them to pay all collections into a dedicated account. And this month, I intend to monitor that. ECG must learn to live. All those doing the initial deductions, they must stop that. In fact, from the back of the envelope, it sums up to about 250 million cedis. That's a whopping amount. As minister, I will not allow that. And whatever it takes to break that chain, I'll break it. I've tasked the new MD to also set up a technical audit himself at his level to look at how we can do away with some of those contracts. Especially ECG being a covered entity, multi-year contracts ought to be approved. There are some contracts that we intend to review some savings. But clearly, we will not continue with the status quo under my administration. And that I want to make very, very clear. I've called for details on it. I've called for a presentation. And I asked them, why do you need this software? It hasn't led to revenue increase. It hasn't led to any revenue assurance. And yet this company is taking so much money. And if you recall, in the days of opposition, we were fighting this contract. We kept insisting that it should not be signed. In fact, the MD came and assured us that it's 1.9% of gross. It's turned out that it is 3% of gross. And so even from information, that app was paid for by ECG. And yet ECG does not own that app. At the transition, they tried to migrate the whole system to that company. We're able to block it. And so all is not lost. I'm not against anybody. We want to ensure that there's value for money. We want to ensure that we protect the ordinary Ghanaian and the taxpayers' money. And so rest assured, we will tackle that issue. And we'll tackle that issue frontally and head on. I've briefed His Excellency the President and has given me full approval and authorization to move full steam. And that's exactly what we intend to do. President Mahama is very, very determined. He is very committed to local content and to Ghanaian participation. But we also want to balance that so that we can also get the needed FDIs into the economy in order to spur economic growth and ensure that we attain inclusive, accelerated growth. That we have an interest that maximizes their overall benefit, not just having the equity for the sake of it. I know some blocks that are owned by Ghanaians, and for some years now, no activity is taking place. It's a big loss that Ghanaian entrepreneur into the state. But if you can attract some majors and some big oil producers to partner with you and then spare up, ultimately begin to produce oil, because that is what you want to do, especially as we go through this energy transition. We must pump oil as much as we can whilst we brace up for the transition period. And our emphasis more is on the gas, so that all our thermal plants, we can run them on gas, even if they are dual fuel, but with some buffer, in order that if there's a problem with gas, we can easily switch to alternative fuel. And from the records, in 2022 thereabout, we made a savings of about 1 billion, taking gas consumption and light crude oil and all the liquid fuels that we would have otherwise imported. So gas is the way to go. And we would prioritize that and push that forward. During this period, I asked that, can we consult Cote d'Ivoire? Because of the West African Power Pool, if we can also get some power from them. And they wrote back that they need 200 megawatts from us.
Oh, I see.
So it tells you how challenging the situation is. And supply of reliable, uninterrupted electricity is quite expensive and it's quite difficult. But we'll do whatever it takes to ensure that we improve on what we've inherited.
Honor and a deep sense of recognition of our collective duties that I address you today at the opening of this orientation program. On the 18th of February, you took solemn oaths embracing the important constitutional duty to serve as the principal advisory body to the President of the Republic of Ghana offering wisdom, experience, independent thoughts, and fresh perspectives in driving our nation's vision. Beyond the formalities of this gathering, it is the commencement of essential dialogues that will define the direction of this council, how it affirms its duty, its role, reinforce its relevance, and contribute to the imperative responsibility that must confront all of us, which is resetting Ghana by establishing a governance framework that is genuinely development-oriented, institutionally robust, and reflective of the hopes and aspirations of all citizens. Eminent Council, we are at a pivotal moment in our democratic experiment. The Ghanaian people are unequivocal in their demand for a paradigm shift. They demand a governance structure that elevates national development above partisan proclivities. We need institutional resilience that transforms above the transience of political power. Your Excellency, His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama has embraced this charge with a clear mandate to reset Ghana. This reset is not mere rhetoric. It is a pressing demand to overhaul the systems that have hindered our advancement and to create a governance model that is effective, forward-looking, suited to the challenges and opportunities of the 21st century. The Council of State is pivotal to this overarching mission of national renewal and transformation. The success of this mission is inextricably intertwined with your responsibility to dispel the popular accusation of merely existing to validate predetermined decisions. Indeed, these accusations highlight a broader public expectation that government institutions must prove their value and not merely exist. Respectful members of this eminent council, you must therefore endeavor to contribute to the shaping of government policies at their inception and ensure that major policy choices are meticulously guided by the principles of accountability, equity, and long-term mutual interest. Your tenure must redefine the Council's role, transforming it from its perceptively passive advisory body into an active institution that anticipates challenges, offers bold recommendations, and demands accountability. This requires commissioning research, addressing policy gaps, and ensuring government discussions prioritize the national interest over short-term gains. At the heart of this national reset is the long overdue review of our Constitution. While the 1992 Constitution that has been instrumental in ensuring democratic stability, it must now evolve to meet the demands of a maturing democracy. For decades, there has been consensus on the need for constitutional reform, ensuring a proper balance of power among the co-equal arms of government, addressing inefficiencies in local governance structures, and establishing mechanisms for sustained national development. These are challenges that must be addressed with urgency. We must move beyond the idea of a constitution as merely a blueprint for power sharing. It must instead become a framework for development, one that prioritizes economic transformation, institutional efficiency, and collective aspirations of all Ghanaians. Eminent, you must see yourselves as custodians of this process. Your insights, drawn from decades of experience in governance, law, diplomacy, business, and traditional leadership, must shape the Constitution Review agenda. This is not a task for government alone. It is a national exercise that demands the highest levels of consultation, foresight, wisdom, among others. This council has long been a space for wisdom and experience, but today of young people in their 30s. This is uncharacteristic of the usual composition, but it signals a positive evolution. It reflects a growing recognition that governance thrives on both experience and fresh perspectives. The blend of seasoned guidance and youthful dynamism presents a unique opportunity to deepen national discourse and strengthen advisory process for the benefit of our democracy. Beyond age, diversity, this moment, activity in governance, one that values contributions from diversity, ensuring that voices across generations, professions, backgrounds find space in decision making, whether young or old, male or female, urban or rural. Each perspective enriches the governance process and strengthens the social contract between leadership and people. As members of this council, you nobly embody this evolving quality. You have the collective responsibility to demonstrate that inclusivity is not merely symbolic, but a driving force for better governance. Your deliberations must embrace diverse viewpoints. Your advice must reflect the lived experiences of all Ghanaians, and your service must inspire confidence that every voice matters in shaping.
In the heart of West Africa lies the Republic of Ghana, a nation resilient in spirit, rich in culture, and steady in its pursuit of progress. Today, we celebrate a momentous occasion in our nation's history as we welcome the newly elected president, His
All right, Abusia for Ugusa or Dwabo Ase or Power 97.9 Afenso TV XYZ. Yeah, that's what I say. Ghana, Mrashebejo na Hase na His Excellency John Dramani Mahama Echebia Obe delivered the State of the Nation's address. Information I hear peke and it's by 10 year na Rebe Yamampenyi Enye Druha Emo non Duru dia no Enye Druha. Yeah, Kasenso, Chief of Staff of the Republic of Ghana, Chief Julius Debra. When you be da and I feel so to foreign to do na or more presidency. Me who said do na enam ha me who Samima Muslim say onam ha Samson na me who Joyce Bar Motari on also ewo efiase na echebia no we indication say mampania be de chie beba na wonya ba dia na wonim say mampanyin so enam kwan so a woba but what ye studio and I say yesese ketue ya yabo wa say no Honorable Nelson Jabab or a member of parliament, Emma Dechewo, Karachi East. Mamma Quanin Chen Vise, HBI, Obina Bako Terase, na Atrasi Monochese, Crado Yemwa, na Yekono, na your Mampenny, Etima be deliver State of the Nations address. Karachi East this year, Karachi East, Mnachebeni, Honorable Nelson Jabab, Yamachi Wakwaba. Bijisa Bibia, the D Boko. Na the way a coat of arms bo u quote with the nature said there o mine no afa ba obuno eme say o kasemu no obetima so serebe ya abusuafo beto nka sase free ba bia
medase anompai medase ana mi chia watiefo nyina etia Ghana fo nyina Obia ti XYZ.
Yeah.
XYZ yenim se mona mo so. Muka nation nyina etie mo.
To be fie ni.
Ene se na mika ya se ene ye nije da.
Yeah.
Nije ben. Ya papa His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ene will deliver the maiden State of the Nation address. Emma Ghana man. Nti Ghana fo nyina omo dodo no antumi amaha no. They are glued to their sets.
Yeah.
They are ready. Omo pensampa no. Papa John Dramani Mahama Ediba State of the Nation address eba inspire hope na di enije eba Ghana man de eba be mai irehyimu de eba be mai nidaso se Ghana man ye wo mampani bi a odwen ye ho your man penny or barber set economy no TC mine every baby or man I say a pensa do no sa pepe and ever pad your Mahama ediba. It is an okay no about 10 o'clock pepe a hair say papa a Jumara the nation builder His Excellency John Dramani Mahama or Baby Dummer Shebe.
And no more best son I will share Muse or Becca a beboya me at baby a wono I say nothing wabra yenya santi I said so you baby a yeko and no best son wo peso bobo bosso.
And no my papa bosu paramount among them will be the state of the nation in the area of the security. In fact, now your papa echo announce NDC eba bemono. Now the state of the nation na ensure your papa sa ade papa en would normal be at 2 years obi your papa ba oba be kan wasam anamu ayetu afa boku conflict ho ekwo pim ba bia yedu any the way forward say nyina ye hwe nim say enche no the lasting peace announce on we kura ebeba northern part of Ghana hono and Ghana afana nyina. Number 2
but mebo I didn't think there was a what dance signal na di e de che Ghana fo nyina I didn't think that was state of the nation's address SMP no ba be ka no e de na che say within that space no betima aka bibia be che say wo mu ye bibia fa ho a e be bo ama akoma aba fam
yo me pa cho national security eye ade a ehunhia oman no mpuntuo papa because if you are in a state of insecurity you cannot expect any development.
True.
And unti oman ya ye dwunu ya mpuntu ana che ho pa no ye security ana ya bambo ene ye ade a ese ye dwunu ho kan ansa na bibia.
Okay afi yanko enkae no me hu se wo be kan ho kire ho asem ye wa ho kire.
Yes ye wa ho kire mo boys abre
ya bre
na
ba
enye ye na ye ka. In fact we na Ghana fo gina so a omudi tu aba ama percentage a NDC nya no first in the history yen because omu to aba so omu pe change omu to aba so omu pe say normal sakra minua na asitira no enkwe exchange rate basa ofri baby a exchange rate a idija that time MPP $3.70 $3.70 to $1 every year could do almost 17 Ghana cedis to $1.
No crap.
Now, and no cry, and this is second time that papa is Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Between 16 cedis and some pesos.
Yeah.
And Tina and Huntre.
But no, I mean, Antasanya Mojuma, and Yamonsan Wajuma, who move fra Bem on economy, no, and Yasasi Dane. Kaisa Mampai, a Kufado can wasem. Kai.
Na
enine dane.
Na enine dane is the same because we show unemployment unemployment at 8.4%.
Yeah.
The unemployment no could do 14.6% unemployment. Those days we had a group known as this association.
No crap.
Now do buy NHS. They saw there was no need to even cry about it because it became a norm. Unemployment was unprecedented in the history of Ghana. Usha sana medikanka CD depreciation asem and I make Ghana for esoria people could not even afford 3 square meals a day. Na ahunchira nkasa ye na a free fishing community. Mamenka nchiro premix keke a ye nua no afare fu edi konsuso a omutumi koye fishing enye nsuom na ye ba na nyina ye tobi. Onuana premix any system nti bibia kwadani smuggling like those days in 1979.
Yeah.
When Ghana was in that state.
Yeah.
Obi ekoto premix fuel. Na wakweshe kukuamu baby. Na ono aton double price. Ama fisherman onu hia sa premix dia ko. Mo enama hunchire nti.
And nanse yemu no yekai se ebewura fertilizer ampo.
Ebewura fertilizer ampo. Ebewura farming chemicals keke.
So that's the state.
That is the state. Baby I be two mine no. Until there was no hope. We were in a state of hopelessness. Until Papa Eba and then His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, no Abeka Sansami, Ama Akumato Yema. Then we will welcome it as good news.
Okay. What about the controversies? A bit to say, Nancy more pump and Kofoya, your former Majuma, by December 7, directive free presidency or by say, Womonko, na Yantutu no me, no. when him say one more MPP are raising issues to the sense that yana penyo market crowd there questions bisa our appointment committee Vincent Asafwani ni nuanom enso edi ebi animu e de akọ court e de na President Mahama betimaka ama entiasia ye adwuma because there are some of directive we no eya dan na di say as omo de omo nka man no ho
yo me da say e won so no omo ka omo di ka bet to me no personally yen hwe say mampani ayatu aban abama wo no aban am form aban for 4 good years 2021 January March 2021 January to December 2024 4 good years December wa luzu aba state of the economy na me ma wo no wo kono no se structures ni nyina anya adwuma nti eden clearance na wakwaja free minister of finance minister of finance who could not even sustain the ordinary Ghanaians living in the country is now clearing over thousands of people for them to be employed. But they didn't do this when you were in the seat as president. They've cleared those people since when? And as uncle phone and you employ them. They couldn't employ them that time. Omo train. Nti afei na we ofa omo adwuma. Yanka ya say but I didn't know we are menye ema obi an say e so clear say udi hanti unuan a wo ba no. But
even in that issue you raise say why do you employ them at that point no? There are other counter explanations. I say ebi mo ha omo for over 8 years. Na nansi mu 7 years mu and omunya appointment letter. How do you deal with a situation like that?
I don't know. I don't know. Manu yen say, "Ungrofono over 8 years no. Why couldn't you employ them? Because who share the state of the economy now? You could not sustain employing those people. And I want to what has changed? Something that has worsened the state of economy. I worsen one person when you so wuko. Who say I feed them if I mom? Then it means indirectly you are not fair to your brother now ubano. Me ba what you say? Enu nti ena mampani hwe ne say time ye fa onimpa na adwuma mo no say nya such a right time e me no nyina hye de say ye hwe na economy no ntumi sustain a then there is no need you revoke and reappoint at the right time.
Okay.
Ena ma men kan cho bi say constitution no ema mampani to me power is the only one who can appoint and disappoint well because they are Ghanaians they live here na mo amunim say as at the time, any numbers are now MPP, the then outgoing MPP government, it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. The best mampeni between me and say, Waravuki. In due course, only Ghana for, and I'm medical card because a mampeni and a wood to Miss Wedding, were appointed and were disappointed. So at the appropriate time, mampeni share the state of the economy, no, or share BB. Na say ekwe say to me employer why not they'll be re-engaged every time my MPP collapse
banks are
hood. Can you imagine, can you quantify the number of Ghana for our muluzu omejuma
it way atika na
there be any atika na say bank what go be banker and found say we NDC na we MPP ni the minimum say we Ghana ni and our form bank the minimum say we Ghana ni a me maame a woton dokuno e wa dabreka ehia small loan ebi asabio ebi anka woni collateral bi a wo de beko secondary bank no akoji loan obetumi akoho susu bank for yi o akoji sa loan no o buy no was wagu omu nyina did we and did anybody sit down to analyze the implications and the effects of such collapse? No one. But then at the time, the economy at that time, and at the state of this national security at that time, and that was the right thing for him to do.
Yeah.
And so he did it.
Yeah.
So at this moment, President Mahama, realizing that the state of our economy cannot sustain, cannot hold the current employment and our promotions, any MPP aban claims one formulas immunity. It was a suspend our revoke here.
Yeah.
To mean Edanakwem and your bonnet.
Last one and San Mamuako, Abonon Crap Pouncima, Edionum Krominim so Brenaso.
Good.
929. Some of the controversial issue among for experts president Ebechemu two things. Resetting Ghana no.
Yeah.
One chemu na entiase nya adwuma. And number 2, Ghana a crime scene no. In the constitute sa crime no. Wo jiri ma pasa mampanyi be edisa nchechemu no beba. No the background infa no de na ni be kire.
Okay. Me da say resetting Ghana agenda. Yakasi reset bibia. Enye dada no ayewo ho no. Ena ofa se udi reset. For example na ubusa question say udi kan busa question bi.
Yeah.
About resetting Ghana agenda no. Ana me kire say ade no na dia emra no ka ho asam deda. For example, so we arrest obia willfully. Ebia abandon willfully or cause financial loss to the state. Any part of the resetting agenda.
Yeah. And also a question that me busa and say ye chichi nkofo no. And I say yema amanfo face accountability no.
Good.
Eka resetting no one. That was the question me busa off air.
And when resetting no. And resetting no in the sense say and no e de wo ye mra batan no mu dida we ye kwansushi mu. We are bonisia and Mrabata and Krakosu to specify the degree of the offense no and a crime no until eno ewo hold that. Number 2, resetting say udi bibi fufro eba novelty. What are some of these 24-hour economy?
Okay.
Yeah, kanona yana musa we dey tutu mfuturo na Ghana for any so. Enya dey bebam. And that 3 days, Foreign Affairs Minister, was that Foreign Passport Office. Let's start it.
Yeah, 24-hour economy.
24-hour economy.
Minister DVL is right here.
DVL ahinti.
And a
GPH.
Ghana Publishing Company.
Publishing Company. Good. Good. When a friend will resetting, ebi amobe to me afa Ghana for a mabuni ejuma bebre. Ebia first maybe ejuma wo ha. Ebia wo ya wa shifti na another group aba. Nti ebema emabundo dono anya ejuma aye with the resetting Ghana agenda. We spoke about Women's Bank.
Development Bank.
Women's Development Bank. Her Excellency.
Professor Nana Jane.
Yes, Mampenya Bedechri.
Yeah.
Nancy, you know, call Ejemu was a TK effect. These are some of the new things, NDC Abaheno, Ebabeye. Ebia Ebin Sida. And no any say resetting. And
you be radical. You be radical, be a babisi.
Is
right. That's the impression of Bimunya. Say you can see a reset, yeah. You be big.
And you bet Nietina say, a idea Osha, a yadi papa, a idea Osha, a dinscribe back Ghana for as tremo. Yeah, what are we resetting for? We are resetting to go forward. We are changing what we feel is not good to be able to put better things in place so that the nation can move forward. It's a resetting agenda. Now, Abia, now Bank of Ghana, you swear Bank of Ghana governor
for years. Yeah,
okay, steps are over to stabilize the Ghana's economy. That is resetting. What the previous administration could not do, where they lack that commitment, where they lack that capacity to do. If we have come to do it as NDC, then we are resetting the nation.
So with Esiamadia, we use as an example. Was the TBB say we use artificial intelligence for normal adeyo ediabe romo omo normal yemu. No na debate me eden sakrayaba. So is that to say novelty no ewo mo policy elements mo no and only reset na.
Novelty na ewo ye policy mo and only reset no. With you can't keep doing something in the same way and expect different results. But what am I say? And you reset Ghana. That means we are ready to do things in different way, different process, different manner, different formula. Sa formula no and the results are and also a new no
Okay, very well. Honorable Benim say Breno Aswan, Honorable Nelson Jabab MP, Emma Krachi East Empesaso. A last question, last issue, Nafi, sorry so in the educational sector Nancy education idea that Ghana for don't run our commercial teachers and as a one term and he found work free and the funded free SHS because no one boy you so to Abama when say Moka dedicated funding for free SHS. I'm sure the forum no Abuama Mahun Sadia no ana namunim dada.
Oh, okay. Question with the but I don't know my jama education minister no on the appropriate time no ba abechirechiramo and none way stakeholder engagement still there's going to be stakeholder engagement which may but review na NDC chire and the company chire no say me no nyina na enim say free SHS no it was rushed. Number one, NDC STT say we were doing it systematically. We were doing it progressively. To put it better, it was better progressive. That is why Usha from even will do free education.
Yeah.
And it's in that progressive order.
But 1992, the Anna estate
saw NDC under John Mahama after His Excellency Jonathan Milson. We started with the E-blocks.
Yeah.
We started, and the E-blocks, if you look at them, where they place the E-blocks in the rural areas, that it was to make the nation develop.
Yeah. It's a no be better than
Exactly.
Very well.
Kratchi
said nothing so we here live for Power 97.9. Honorable Yamenene Baba Sadi, ya be pay you somewhere in 2017, 2018. And one way why and as I say, what's out from as member of Power show issue. After the camera for
say Power FM and TVXYZ Miami Fiente. I'm not here as a guest, me was here as a panel. My guest December 2024. Abana Ghana for 2 years now. A reflection of the MPP now is around 88. All of these things a reflection presidentially. Over 1.5 billion. Lose the election we no. Afe through inappropriate interview. Ni qualification with party full soldiers. Now we employ into various institutions. For who to come and inherit? For
appointment letter.
Oh,
I'm sure you've read.
Kwame, who should letter now? Your number Julius Zebra Troya. Pointed to the fact that payroll into Nipanu or Dano was the person being paid. Nipanu can payroll no more. And at the point, look, we have to understand the fact say your payroll and no a key component of the economy. And then many of the challenges I have here as a country the fact say we share your revenue generation over 90% going to the payment of salaries and emoluments. It is an empower. A lot of people are forgetting. During the transition, the transition team had the letter by.
Yeah.
And only the government say